Ed Robertson welcoming you to TV Confidential, radio talk show about television. Tony Figueroa and Donna Allen will join us later on this hour as we welcome back Anson Williams. Anson Williams, Patsy Weber on Happy Days and a highly successful entrepreneur. Anson has just launched a new service that offers consumers the very best in fashion, shoes, accessories, and many other products, all at buy one, get one free deals. We will talk about that. Plus, we'll ask Anson about the 45th anniversary of Happy Days when he joins us later on in this hour. We hope you'll stay tuned for that. Joining us in our second hour, we will welcome back our friend David Frankham. David Frankham, film and television actor known for his many collaborations with Vincent Price and Roger Corman, and who also provided the voice of Sergeant Tibbs in the Disney animated classic 101 Dalmatians. David Frankham is also the narrator of a brand new stop-motion puppet animated short film adaptation of The House of the Seven Gables that will be screened next week at the Santa Fe Film Festival. We will talk about that and more when David Frankham joins us in our second hour. We hope you'll stay tuned for that as well. In the meantime, in case you missed it, Kaye Ballard passed away earlier this month. Kaye Ballard, the singer-actress who was the first to record Fly Me to the Moon, also a Broadway star, nightclub star. As far as television viewers are concerned, particularly baby boomers, most of us think of Kaye Ballard as the star along with Eve Arden in the Desi Arnaz-produced sitcom The Mothers-in-Law. Kaye Ballard passed away on Monday, January 21st at the age of 93. Our friend Greg Ehrbar got to know Kaye Ballard.
Yeah, I was able to meet her several years ago, but she always felt like a family member. She's one of those performers who was very much a part of my whole family's life. I come from a Italian family on my mother's side, and growing up they were very noisy, so they were very much a part of my life on holidays and visits and things. And she in many ways was like them. And we talk about diversities and cultures. She exemplified that kind of Italian mama on TV, especially when she played Kay Buell on The Mothers-in-Law. The sauce, the spaghetti sauce meant everything. It was sacred, your sauce. You don't mess with mama's sauce. The recipe is very personal, and it is something passed down to different generations, or the gravy. My great-grandfather called it the gravy.
Yeah, that was something I was not aware of, but that is not uncommon among many old-school Italian families. It's not spaghetti sauce, it's gravy.
Yeah, my great-grandmother spoke very little English. She had the cankles, and the shoes with the straps, and she wore the...
What are cankles?
They're sort of ankles that go straight down to the shoes.
Okay.
And she had the old mama dress and the hair and all, and she pretty much was standing by the big pot stirring the sauce. And we had... this is not supposed to be about me, but it really is about the Italian culture that she brought. It isn't just loud. It's the open arms, big hug. There's a little bit of that on Bob's Burgers, and maybe that's why I like the show. That's a little bit of what Linda is. We don't know what the Belcher's background is, but Linda is a Brooklyn or a Bronx character, and my Aunt Sadie and Uncle Joe are from the Bronx, and when Linda goes, that's what my Aunt Sadie would do. She even would stir a glass of iced tea noisily. They were noisy. If you went on a ride at Disneyland like Mr. Toad, and you could hear everything ahead of you and everything behind you and everything on the side of you, that was what it was like when my relatives came over. It was a din. But it could be a fun din. Could be not always a fun din. And so that was the kind of comedy that she created. What Kaye Ballard also brought was a lot of joy, a lot of singing, a lot of drama, a lot of crying, a lot of angst. And you saw that in all of her performances. You saw that when she appeared on a talk show. She would just be herself, and she would run the gamut of emotions. She was always funny. She was always herself. She always wore her heart on her sleeve. And it was an era where people would come onto a talk show just because they were great people to see talk.
Regardless of whether they had anything to plug. Greg Ehrbar is with us as we spend a few minutes remembering Kaye Ballard. Kaye Ballard, the show-stopping Broadway star, nightclub star, singer, actress, passed away January 21st at the age of 93. She was born Catherine Gloria Ballata. So there's the first-generation Italian-American parents, which goes back to what you said. She sort of brought that sense of culture and family and background. As a performer, you got a sense of that. That's what made her relatable on a lot of levels.
Yeah, and she also could just as easily play a Jewish mother, which those of us who know, they're almost interchangeable. Mm-hmm. I've compared notes with many a friend, and she actually appeared in a show that was written by, I think, Stan Daniels, who worked for MTM for many, many years. He wrote a musical, So Long 43rd Street or something, with Robert Morse. I can't remember the street. But she played the mother in that, and she sang a song called My Son the Druggist.
David, you remember Mrs. Levinson who used to live downstairs? Every time she comes to visit me, she talks about her son, Morty the dentist. Morty this, Morty that. Someday, David, someday I would like to be able to say to her, would you like a chocolate mint, Mrs. Levinson? Help yourself to 2 or 3. Take some home, I get them free. From my son, the druggist.
And it was all about how proud she'd be. I think he wanted to be an actor, and it was all about how proud she'd be if he'd just become a druggist, so she could brag to her friends about My Son the Druggist, and she could get all of her prescriptions at a discount. And it was like my mother. It was like, in fact, I've played it for my wife, and I said, who does this sound like? And I think that's part of the thing. So when The Mothers-in-Law was on, that was must-see. And so you can imagine in the condominiums where our relatives were, and in our house, I can quote them. It's time to watch The Mother-in-Laws. It's The Mother-in-Laws. Carol, my mother. Carol, The Mother-in-Laws. I got to hang out The Mother-in-Laws. And the great thing about the show was that you had the mix of cultures, because Eve Arden was such a polar opposite. She almost didn't get that kind of thing. They were so completely different. They say it was like Lucy and Ethel with grown children and then grandchildren, and it kind of was. But it also was completely different cultures. It was East meets West. Yeah. It was 2 different planets colliding. Yeah. And they were perfect together.
Thanks a lot, Kaye.
I'm sorry, Eve, but I thought you handled that whole situation wrong.
I don't care who handled it. There are no seats.
No seats.
Ha! What do you mean, no seats? Huh?
Just what I said. No seats, huh? I don't care how big a hit the show is. Opening or closing, they always have seats for people who know how to ask for them, Eve. You cannot tell me that if a big celebrity went to the theater tonight and asked for a seat, hello, this is Barbra Streisand. I would like 4 seats for tonight.
That show, if you watch it, it's very broad, but it's very funny. And one of the things that impresses me about it is the laughter is not sweetened. It's very honest. And when you watch for a gag that doesn't do well and the audience just titters, Desi Arnaz didn't go back and sweeten it. She just let it go. Nowadays, the audiences roar at everything because
everything's sweetened. Right. Both season 1 and season 2 of The Mothers-in-Law are available on DVD. Greg Ehrbar is with us. We spend a few minutes remembering the career of Kaye Ballard. Kaye Ballard passed away Monday, January 21st at the age of 93. When did you first meet Kaye?
I think it was 2009, and I brought my stack of albums because I was a fan of hers, not just because of The Mothers-in-Law. Actually, there was even a stronger bond, if you can imagine. Because she was the very first actor to play Lucy Van Pelt in Peanuts.
That's right.
As part of her nightclub act, she played Lucy on stage with Arthur Siegel, who was a composer and pianist who accompanied her and also played Charlie Brown. So on stage, they would perform the comic strips as if they were comedy material. And Charles Schulz loved it. He went to see them perform, and they got permission to do an album as if it was a stand-up routine. Only it was a very strange album. It was not done live. It was done in the studio. And the background music, which was composed by Fred Karlin, who did a lot of television, I believe won an Oscar for Lovers and Other Strangers. Mm-hmm. Instead of using instruments, it was all toys, which became pretty normal after a while. This may have been the first time that actual toys were used. It's a strange-sounding album. And the theme of the very beginning of the album was used in the early 70s for a cat food commercial at one point. And because the strips do link together sometimes, there can be a whole track that has one subject or a group of subjects. Some of them later were made into animation, but this was 1962 that it was done, and the cartoons weren't done until, 65 was the Christmas special, and then there were the Ford commercials and things like that. But she was the first, and Arthur Siegel was the first Charlie Brown, technically, and then the stage of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. I think that was 66 for the stage version. But she originated it. So listening to that album over and over again, her voice was part of my life, and her singing also on different records. She did a lot of studio albums for Columbia in the 50s. She sang on the Oklahoma album. They did wonderful studio albums of various Broadway shows. She did her nightclub routines on different record albums too. And the same kind of style that you heard later were on those albums as well. And Lucille Ball went to one of her shows, and I believe it may have even been with Desi, but I think the first time that she met her, she walked up to her or saw her backstage, and Lucy pointed at her and said, "You're funny."
That's a high compliment.
Yeah. By the way, there is an excellent biography. I think it's called How I Lost 53 Pounds. No, How I Lost 10 Pounds in 53 Years.
Yes. That came out in 2006.
Yeah, and it's a book, but I recommend the audio version because she reads it all the way through, and you get the Kaye Ballard performance, which is much more fun because she does impressions all the way through. At the very beginning, you hear her do her Italian Betty Davis, which you got to run it back because it's so funny. Yeah. And then she starts talking about one of her best friends, Gypsy Rose Lee, and what kind of a cheapskate she was. You know, she'd give me this appetizer, and it was this little tiny jar, and she says, "Kaye, this is a delicacy, and you should only use a little bit. Kaye." You know, so she was infinitely quotable because of the funny way she would say things. On the Peanuts record, there is a series of strips where she's talking to Charlie Brown about snowflakes, and Charlie Brown explains that each snowflake is different because they have little tiny points. And she says, "If snowflakes have little tiny points, you wouldn't be able to sled on them." And so my kids, everybody, you know, my wife, we're always little tiny points.
Lucy, I just wish you could see some snowflakes under a microscope. Each one is different because they have little tiny points.
Little tiny points? If snowflakes had little tiny points, you'd never be able to slide on them with a sled. They'd catch on the runners, and they'd snag your clothes. And little tiny points? Good grief, Charlie Brown. All snowflakes are white, aren't they? If they're all white, they must be alike. How can they be different if they're all white, huh?
She has a way, which is a brilliance in a performer. We've talked about this with people like Dawes Butler and other people, taking a perfectly normal line and turning it into a classic line without the line necessarily even being funny, all that funny. Yeah. She had that talent. So her voice and things really, really endures and continues because a lot of her work, it's been recorded. She also, in addition to Fly Me to the Moon, she introduced the song Maybe This Time.
Maybe this time I'll be lucky. Maybe this time he'll stay. Maybe this time, for the first time, love won't hurry away.
which did not originate in cabaret. It was written for her by Fred Ebb and John Kander, and then it was later, I believe, given to a different singer, and it ended up in cabaret because Liza Minnelli asked for it to be added for the movie. I don't think it was in the Broadway show. Liza Minnelli liked the song and asked for it to be in there, and it became identified with her, and it was really Kaye Ballard's song, and it was one of those heartaches that she had through her life. When I talked to her, she had mixed feelings about her career in some ways. She felt that, like a lot of performers, she had not been recognized nearly as much as she felt she had, that she maybe didn't accomplish as much. And I was telling her that you have so many people who absolutely love you. Look at people who might have won Oscars. People hate them. Yeah. Or have accomplished all kinds of things, but on the other hand, are vastly alone or whatever. You have something that's more than that. You're like people's family to a lot of people. And I was just reading, this will probably play afterwards, but I was just reading about a service that's being held, a memorial service. There wasn't even going to be a memorial service in Palm Springs. And the outpouring was so great. She didn't want a service. She just wanted to be cremated, boom, done, no fuss. The outpouring was so great, there had to be one.
And that speaks to your point. As an entertainer, she was admired, but as a person, she was loved.
Yeah, and ultimately, you got to balance that and say, what do you really want? And what do you really have to be? And what do you really have to do to be what you have to be? And I don't know if that makes any sense at all. But it sounds like a lyric. Oh, yeah.
It sounds like a lyric.
It does.
Okay, well, Greg is jotting that down and figuring out how to compose a score to that. Greg is with us to spend a few minutes remembering the career and the accomplishments of singer-actress Kaye Ballard. Kaye Ballard passed away this past Monday, January 21st, at the age of 71. Greg mentioned Kaye's memoir, How I Lost 10 Pounds in 53 Years, which was originally published in 2006. You could probably find it both the print edition as well as the audiobook edition through Amazon.com. This is one of those fluke of the calendars, but Kaye Ballard passed away about 7 or 8 days after the premiere of a documentary, Kaye Ballard, The Show Goes On, which had its premiere at the Palm Springs Film Festival. At the very least, she lived to see the completion of the film, and that says a lot.
And it also, I believe, it was acclaimed at the festival.
Yeah.
I believe it was Best in Show.
Once upon a time there was a teeny tiny lady, just as tiny as a girl could ever get. Aww. And she was so very lonely in her teeny tiny house with just an itsy bitsy television set.
My immediate thought when I realized how close she passed to the premiere of the film, I immediately thought of Rose Marie, whose career she paralleled, not only in terms of the calendar, but in terms of her accomplishments and the fact that, she was a stage star, Broadway star, singer, as well as an actress. Like Rose Marie, she lived to see her film made, and she lived to see, or at least hear, that the film was acclaimed. And so, in that respect, like a true performer, she was able to go out on top.
Yeah, and it took a long time to put the film together, and there were some very big names in the film, Anne Margaret and Woody Allen, and a lot of major names on camera. She had a lot of friends. I mean, she goes all the way back to Spike Jonze, and she was on Perry Como. She really was, like Rosemary, she was the history of show business. Mm-hmm. Her career was also Broadway and variety shows. The difference was that she was not on a sitcom as long as Rosemary, but she also was on Hollywood Squares and on the talk shows the same way.
She did pretty much every major talk show of the 70s and 80s. Mike Douglas, Johnny Carson, Merv. She did every incarnation of Merv, both the syndicated show, the CBS network show, as well as the NBC daytime show. As a matter of fact, according to our friend Steve Randisi, Kaye was one of the guests on the very last edition of the daytime show in 62, 63, and there's a nice quote from Kaye in Steve's book, The Merv Griffin Show, The Inside Story, where she's talking about her 150 talk show experiences and how she worked with Parr and Johnny and Merv and Mike Douglas. Kaye says, "What I remember most about Merv is that he was always so down to earth. With Johnny Carson, you were on tenterhooks all the time. Jack Parr was a brilliant conversationalist and easy to talk to, but I would have to say that Merv was easier, and the atmosphere on his show was always completely relaxed. And obviously, we've talked about this before, the host sets the tone on the show, and by creating an atmosphere that brings out the best of the guest. And one of the reasons, I'm going to guess, one of the reasons why Kaye appeared on Merv's show in particular so many times in all his forums was because she reacted to that environment, and obviously Merv brought out the best of her.
Absolutely. He was so underrated in so many ways. He was very good at getting guests so comfortable that they didn't realize how much they were opening up sometimes. And that was part of his art. He was so understated, I guess would be the word, that you didn't realize, I would imagine as a guest, aggressive that could be, because he wasn't in their face. He would almost hug them. Well, he didn't hug them, but he enveloped them just from body language. He made them seem like they were all, the two of them were the only people there, even though there was an audience. Merv used a lot of body language in addition to his ums and ahs. In a way, his ums, ahs, and ah, and all those things, he did use a lot of guttural sounds that became kind of funny.
Yeah.
In a way, those were ways of underlying without interrupting, if you think about it. So the person could keep going and going. And when Merv really excelled is when he had a panel of people and just let them go and step back.
Yeah, and that's something you never see done today because shows are segmented in every sense of the word. I mean, the guest has maybe 1 6-minute segment, maybe 2 6-minute segments, but it's all blocked out. The host knows what talking points he or she is going to raise in that 6-minute period of time. And there's very little variation from that. But in the day of the 90-minute format, it allowed for a lot more flexibility. And when you had a panel such as Merv often did, when he would step back and let Tallulah Bankhead interview Willie Mays, for example, in the middle of the show. I mean, Merv knew he had something cool going on, and he was wise enough to stay out of the way.
Yeah, that's difficult now because there isn't as much time. There are a lot of commercials. There are points that have to be made. There is a lot more, not scripting, but things that have to be said. And there is an agenda going on when a guest is on a show. They have to promote things. There are certain things they must talk about because they've been pre-interviewed with the coordinators and stuff. So it isn't as spontaneous as it used to be, depending on the show and depending on the guest. Some things are more than others. It's funny. I love listening to classic radio shows like the Lux Radio Theater and stuff. And sometimes when you listen to those interviews, they're horribly scripted too. You know, tell me about your victory garden, Ehrbar. You know, and you can tell sometimes. It's silly, but how much different is it sometimes from today's very slick, overproduced, over-edited shows where it's obvious, too, that it's all been so pre-planned that there isn't much spontaneity. So how far really have we come? So there was an art when they had these shows.
Greg Ehrbar is with us to share a few thoughts on the passing of Kaye Ballard. Kaye Ballard, the singer-actress, Broadway star and star of The Mothers-in-Law, who passed away this past January 21st at the age of 93. We'll continue our tribute to Kaye Ballard at the end of our second hour. We'll be able to stay tuned for that. In the meantime, we'll take a quick time out. Then Anson Williams will join us when we come back on TV Confidential.
You've gone and left me for somebody new. I said I'd never kiss anyone after you. Years have gone by, and now at the stroke of midnight, when all the world is fast asleep, I broke the vow I promised to keep. I just kissed my nose goodnight as I started to turn out the light. I looked into the mirror that was hung on the shelf. Woo! All at once I found I was in love with myself. I just kissed my nose.
Ed Robertson along with Tony Figueroa and Donna Allen from Story Salon, Southern California's longest-running, regularly performing live storytelling ensemble, which I understand is at a new location.
Yeah, we're very excited about it. We're moving, actually, to the Party Art Studio on Laurel Canyon Boulevard, 5302 Laurel Canyon. It's a new art gallery And
it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Donna and I have been involved with Story Salon for the last 9+ years. We're going to be in an art gallery now. We're going to have a $5 cover, some nice refreshments, and a wonderful eclectic evening of storytelling.
Which is a great environment because, it as you say, the word is eclectic, and for $5, it's a great evening of entertainment. You can't ask for much more.
No, not at all. And these stories, some of them are funny, some of them are tragic, some of them are a little off the wall, but we just have a wonderful time keeping the art of storytelling alive.
And you can find out more about it by going to storysalon.com.
Accredited by Guinness World Records, welcome to Archival Television Audio Incorporated, a peerless TV soundtrack archive, preserving the audio from television's first 3 decades, the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, the golden and silver age of television.
For more information, go to atvaudio.com.
The Beverly Hills Theater Guild annually sponsors the Julie Harris Playwright Awards competition to discover new theatrical works and to encourage established or emerging writers to create quality works for the theater. The Julie Harris Playwright Awards competition offers 3 prizes. First prize, $3,500. Second prize, $2,500. Third prize, $1,500. This year's competition runs from January 1st, 2019 to April 1st, 2019, and is open to all U.S. citizens or legal residents. All entries must be original, full-length plays that are unpublished, unproduced, and not currently under any option. Entries must be accompanied by the application form and in accordance with the submission policies and procedures. All entries must be postmarked by April 1st, 2019. To download an application form for the Julie Harris Playwright Awards competition, or for more information on submission policies and procedures, go to BeverlyHillsTheaterGuild.com and click Award Competitions.
Hi, this is Marion Ross. You are listening to TV Confidential.
By gray sky, hello blue. There's nothing can hold me when I hold you. Feels so right, it can't be wrong. Rocking and rolling all week long.
Ed Robertson, along with Tony Figueroa and Donna Allen, welcoming you back to TV Confidential Radio Talk Show about television. I was pleased to welcome back Mr. Anson Williams. Anson Williams, the actor known around the world as Patsy Weber on Happy Days. Calendar year 2019 marks the 45th anniversary of the premiere of Happy Days, but that is not the only reason. That's right. It's hard to believe, isn't it? I can still remember that first Tuesday night watching you guys.
You blink. You just blink and 4.5 decades go by.
Yeah.
Oh, you want your mind really blown? This year also marks the 50th anniversary of Love American Style, which kind of helped launch Happy Days.
Yeah, but no, actually, that was the first pilot of Happy Days.
Mm-hmm.
And that one didn't sell. They aired it on Love American Style the year before, in 1973. And then after the success of American Graffiti that year and Grease on Broadway, they decided to do another Happy Days pilot. And that's the one that sold.
That's the one that sold, and that's the one that led to the premiere of Happy Days in January 74. Happy Days is 45 years old this year. We'll talk about that. In addition to his many accomplishments as an actor and as a director, Anson Williams is also a highly successful entrepreneur. Matter of fact, by the time this program airs, folks, Anson will have launched a new service called BOGO List, which will bring consumers the very, very best in fashion brands from the very best designers, all at buy one, get one deals. BOGO List is scheduled to launch in February, just in time for Valentine's Day. We'll tell you more about BOGO List in just a sec. First, Anson Williams, welcome back to our program.
Well, thank you so much.
Tell us about BOGO List, what led you to start it, and how does it work?
Well, as an entrepreneur, and you know this from the past things I've been involved with, I love getting involved in things that really help people, that are just really cool and really beneficial. And one of the best ways to get great deals in the world so people's money can go a lot further are BOGOs. Buy one, get one. Don't buy one, you get two.
That's right.
For the price of one. So I thought, what if we could put together a site called BOGO List, where you can go there and every day are the best BOGOs you can buy. whether it's Target, whether it's CVS, whether it's Walgreens, wherever, right there in one place, every great BOGO 2-for-1, from dining to clothes to accessories to kitchen goods, whatever you need, it's there. So we created BOGO List. One-stop shop, because we also have attached to it GAB, and GAB is good as BOGO. So even though you might not be getting 2-for-1, you're getting something that is such a deal. You're getting so much more for your money, and at the same time having so much fun going to good as BOGO. And then we're also involved with every single holiday. We have BOGO Valentine's, BOGO Christmas. So you go to BOGO List and you click on Valentine's, it goes to BOGO Valentine's, and we'll have all the BOGO Valentine's deals. So you can get 2-for-1 flowers and 2-for-1 candies. So before you go buying anything for Valentine's, make sure you go to BOGO List, click on Valentine's, and you'll get 2 for the price of 1, and you can make even more people happy.
And as you just alluded, Anson, BOGO List is a great idea because, as you say, everyone's looking for bargains, and everyone is always looking for value.
That's it. Everyone likes a deal. Everyone likes to have something they didn't expect. And hopefully people will go there all the time and find wonderful, wonderful products for themselves.
Before we called you, Anson, we checked out BOGO because we are crack researchers on our program. And it is possible for people to register to BOGO right now, correct?
Yes. There's a subscription thing that comes up. You can either click it off or put your name on there, and we'll send you personally all sorts of BOGO deals all the time. Just put in your email, and we'll get you all the best BOGO deals right to your own personal email.
Yes, and to show you that I put my money where my mouth is, I have registered at BOGO List, and Donna, you
I have registered.
And I'm in the process while we're talking.
Yes, yes.
There's always one.
But anyway, I'm just, not because we created and all that, I'm just very excited because it's going to be a huge benefit to so many people, and especially when they can get 2-for-1. We're very broad. We're into every area of your life, from movies to dining to clothes to whatever. And it also includes GAB. We created the word GAB, good as BOGO. So you get other great deals.
So the place to direct our listeners to would be BOGOList.com. Is that the URL?
That's right, BOGOList.com. And if you want special Valentine's gifts, click on Valentine's, and it'll take you to BOGOValentine'sDay.com.
Go to BOGOList.com. Anson Williams is the creator of BOGOList.com. New service offers consumers the very best deals at buy one, get one free, covering fashion, dining, accessories, kitchen, everything, you name it. BOGOList.com. Anson is also the inventor of Alert Drops. Alert Drops is the spray that uses the citric acid of a lemon to stimulate the tongue's sensory. Yeah, that'd be good.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Wow, you're good.
The tongues.
Hey, you're beginning to sound like me.
The tongue's sensory neurons, which will cause an immediate reflex action that will keep you awake in the event you find yourself nodding off while driving. Alert Drops was inspired using the knowledge and wisdom of Anson's uncle, Dr. Henry Heimlich, the man behind the Heimlich maneuver. For more information, go to alertdrops.com, alertdrops.com, and I can personally attest, Anson, that Alert Drops works, and so can Donna.
I don't like drinking a lot of caffeine, and when I hit that slump in the afternoon, It is perfect. It's amazing. It works.
But, it's very old science, guys. Like what I learned from Dr. Heimlich. I mean, I almost killed myself years ago because I fell asleep, and he told me to bite into lemons. He said the citric acid inside a lemon hits the lingual nerve on top of your tongue. It's an automatic reflex reaction of adrenaline in the body. So it's your body instantly waking the body with nothing in your system. And we just made a better scooter. We put the right amount of citric acid, sour lemon into a little spray. So when you start feeling tired or down or unclear, little hit on your tongue, and you're up, you're alert, nothing in your system, nothing to hurt your health. And here's one thing, guys. If you go to BOGO List, we have a BOGO for Alert Drops. Buy 3, and you get 3 free.
Yay.
Oh, good.
You cannot beat that. BOGOList.com, Alert Drops, buy 3, get 3 free.
Right.
It is a great product. And Donna has a very good point, because if you work at home as I do, when you hit that mid-afternoon lull, If you don't want to do coffee, your only other option is maybe sit down and take a nap, which is not a bad idea anyway, but that throws off your production schedule.
Oh, yeah.
You spray some alert drops, you get your mojo back, and you keep productive.
That's true. And also we're finding out that a big problem in colleges, college students, to stay up to study, are taking all this bad stuff to try to stay awake. And they're going to the hospital, they're hurting their health. And we're finding that alert drops is a real positive addition now, helping these kids study. And that feels good. And the other thing, too, about coffee, caffeine, one, it takes 20 minutes to take effect, especially if you're driving, doing something where you need to have clarity. It takes 20 minutes to take effect, and then you need too much of it. And you start getting the shakes, and it actually goes against you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But this alert drops, it is the only product in the world, really, that works naturally and instantly. And again, it's just very old science. It's the body waking the body, and it's because of the brilliance of Dr. Heimlich. I would have never known this, but there's been studies on this for years and years and years and years. So it's nothing new. All we did was, like I said, create a better scooter, put in a little spray bottle so it's convenient. But everyone out there, by the way, if you don't want to buy alert drops, that's okay. If you have a dangerous job, you're construction workers, you're driving, whatever it is, have lemons with you that are cut up. And if you start feeling that exhausted feeling, bite into them. It could save your life.
No, there's been, sadly, several cases, because people that work in the industry work crazy hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're trying to head back home, and there have been, this is stuff of collective bargaining with all the industry unions. Is that, they have to head home, and all you have is one accident on a dark highway, and it's a huge, huge deal.
It is. In fact, they did a huge article about exhaustion in the industry. Deadline wrote about it, which is like the variety for the entertainment business, Deadline. And they did a whole article on it, and they recommended alert drops.
Great.
Wow. That's cool.
Journalists. You can look it up. If you look at, and since then, a lot of the industry has bought it. A lot of TV shows have bought alert drops.
That has to be very gratifying, Anson, that industries such as the entertainment industry, which employs a lot of people, and publications such as Deadline recognize what you're doing, fills a need, and provides a great service, and it works.
Yeah, and it's humbling. And really, it's all Dr. Heimlich. I mean, he's passed away just over 2 years now. He passed away, but he's living every day by saving lives. Between the Heimlich maneuver and alert drops, he's saving lives every day. He's still here. He's still helping people. I'm like a messenger. I feel like a small part of it. I'm just grateful that we had that information and we were able to do something about it.
On the line with us is Anson Williams. Anson Williams, the inventor of Alert Drops. Alert Drops is a spray that uses the citric acid of a lemon to stimulate the tongue's sensory neurons, which will cause an immediate reflex action that will keep you awake in the event you find yourself nodding off while driving. Alert Drops was inspired by the knowledge and wisdom of Anson's uncle, Dr. Henry Heimlich, the man behind the Heimlich maneuver. For more information, alertdrops.com, alertdrops.com. Anson Williams is also the creator of BOGO List. BOGO List, a new service that offers consumers buy one, get one free deals from many of the top retailers. For more information or to register right now, go to bogolist.com, bogolist.com. Anson Williams is also scheduled to appear at the annual Beverly Hills Theater Guild Luncheon, which will take place Sunday, March 17th at the Four Seasons Hotel in Beverly Hills, California. The theme of this year's luncheon will be the Hollywood Renaissance. The highlight of the day's program will be a tribute to the films and television series of Gary Marshall. Proceeds from the March 17th luncheon will help the Beverly Hills Theater Guild fund their annual competition in playwriting. For more information, call 310-765-1605, 310-765-1605, or go to BeverlyHillsTheaterGuild.com. We're kind of kidding you when we started our conversation, but you are gifted with a mind to recognize solutions. Do you ever rest your mind, or is that the secret?
Ever since I was a little kid, it's interesting how certain things just come naturally. Like writing, I have the same thing. It just happens. I don't know. As far as creating products or finding problem-solving products, inventing them, I don't know. It just, something hits me and it just happens. It's like, wow, why isn't this done? Wow, why isn't that done? Once it's in my head and it stays there for a while, I have to do it.
Yeah. And thank goodness that you do.
I've been in the product business along with entertainment for over 20 years. So BOGO, buy one, get one, it's the most valuable sales platform in retail. Number one, better than free. BOGO is a huge sales platform. And I kept looking, I go, why isn't there a place you can go to for BOGOs? Everybody knows it. It's part of the societal fabric. Why isn't there a place just to go and find this? I'm surprised no one had done it. And we did it.
It sounds like you're doing it for stuff that people need.
Yeah.
I've seen BOGO for a lot of things that I might need one of, and they're offering me two. And it's like, well, I just need one. Yeah, I don't want to pick on anybody. I'm sure we know all sorts of brands. You go to that brand or that store when you need something very specific, and they're going to offer you two. It's like, well, I need one, and this one should last me 10 years, whatever that one thing is. Yeah. And so, they make the offer, which looks good on a poster, but really doesn't seem practical. It sounds like you're actually doing it for stuff that we could need, not just want, but need. Yeah. And so it's a great deal.
Yeah, you can have fun. You can look all through it and think, oh, wow, you'll see things that you didn't know you need. It's just all sorts of different things. I mean, right now there's this huge deal, 2-for-1 vitamins. You're spending $15 instead of spending $30. You're getting double the amount for $15. Well, wouldn't you want two?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's all these different dining. There's one site there, Constant BOGOs, where you find out a restaurant in your area, and boom, there's a certificate you can buy, and you're getting 2 dinners for one before you go out. You're saving half the check before you even leave the house, all because of BOGO List.
On the line with us is Anson Williams. Anson Williams is the creator of BOGO List. BOGO List, a new service that offers consumers buy one, get one free deals from many of the top retailers. For more information or to register right now, go to BOGOList.com, BOGOList.com. Anson is also the inventor of Alert Drops. Alert Drops uses the citric acid of a lemon to stimulate the tongue's sensory neurons. That causes a reflex action that keeps you awake in the event you find yourself nodding off while driving. Alert Drops, inspired by the knowledge and wisdom of Anson's uncle, Dr. Henry Heimlich, the man behind the Heimlich maneuver. But as Donna tested earlier, you don't need to be driving to benefit from Alert Drops. You can use it in the course of your workday to get you past that 3 o'clock slump. It is better for you because rather than eating sugar, and piling that on,
drowsy driving is catastrophic. You know that. Mm-hmm. It's up there with guns.
Yeah.
There are more deaths, more fatalities, more injuries, more loss of money, more families torn apart than drunk driving and medicated driving combined.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
It's pretty major. There's at least, minimally, 168 million drowsy drivers a year. And that's verified. 1 out of 5 admitted to falling asleep.
Wow.
So you can see the problem here. You know not to drink, you know not to take medication, but people don't realize they're going to fall asleep. They don't realize it. It happens so fast. But the thing with drowsy driving, we can actually cure it. Unlike so many other things, we can stop it. Take an Alert Drops. You're not going to kill yourself. You're going to get off the road safely. And what's really, really sad, the majority of the deaths aren't the people that fell asleep. It's the people they hit.
And I know from the last time you visited us, Anson, several states are introducing the awareness of drowsy driving and making that part of their platform. So more and more people are aware that this is a problem. And again, it's got to be very gratifying that you're doing something about it.
Well, the state of Arkansas, New Jersey, it's under drunk driving law. I mean, it's as criminal as drunk driving, drowsy driving. And they have that on the books now.
That's good.
Yeah, very much so.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, because I think everyone who's listening has had that close call, if they, assuming they drive.
Yeah.
Or they knew someone. Everyone knows someone. I mean, it's a catastrophic problem, but it's one so easily cured, stopped. Just like when Dr. Heimlich created the Heimlich maneuver. Such a simple way to save so many lives.
Anson Williams is on the line with us. Anson Williams, inventor of Alert Drops and the creator of BOGO List. Anson's going to stay with us for another segment. We will ask him about the 45th anniversary of Happy Days. Plus, we'll ask him to share a few thoughts about the passing of Penny Marshall and his experience working with Robin Williams. All that and more after this quick time out here on TV Confidential.
Cam Caricatures will keep the fun rolling at your next party, convention, or event through a live video feed. As friends or colleagues gather around the webcam, I can see them on my screen, and they can view my caricatures come to life on their own screen. The completed black and white drawing will then be emailed to you to print out. Pricing and details are at hamcamcaricatures.com. That's HAMMCAMCARICATURES.com.
Buying or selling a home can be one of the most stressful things we'll ever do in life. But it doesn't have to be. And no one knows better than our friends at Front Porch Realty Group. They're a community of realtors serving the Northern Bay Area of California that cares about their clients as individuals first and foremost. Whether you're a first-time buyer or looking to lease or sell your property in the Bay Area, Front Porch Realty Group will help you through this important transition by providing you with the right information for your situation while lessening the pain. They also work with a network of realtors throughout California who provide the same high caliber of customer service. Call Front Porch Realty Group at 415-886-7411 for a realtor referral near you. You can also visit their website, frontporchrealtygroup.com, for more information on the services they provide, including upcoming workshops and seminars. For more information, call 415-886-7411 or visit frontporchrealtygroup.com. Front Porch Realty Group. They'll find the solution that works best for you.
Uber is the mobile app that connects you with a driver for immediate transportation. Request a ride at the tap of a button and you have a driver curbside in minutes. You can choose to be driven in a black car, SUV, or you can choose UberX, the low-cost Uber for a ride in a hybrid or mid-range car. Payment is seamless and cashless, billed to your card on file with no need to tip. Enter the promo code TV Confidential after you download the app to receive a free first ride up to $20. For more information, go to get.uber.com/go/TV Confidential.
Hey, did you know that TV Confidential has a YouTube channel? It's true. Check it out right now at youtube.com/TV Confidential. There you can also listen to the last few episodes of TV Confidential on demand, absolutely free. And please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/TV Confidential, youtube.com/TV Confidential. You can also follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/TV Confidential.
Hi, this is Don Most, and you're listening to TV Confidential.
Ed Roberts with a reminder that David Frankham will join us at the top of the hour. We hope you'll stay tuned for that. In the meantime, Tony Figueroa and Donna Allen are with us, along with our guest this hour, Anson Williams. Anson Williams, the inventor of Alert Drops. Alert Drops is a spray that uses the citric acid of a lemon to stimulate the tongue's sensory neurons, which will cause an immediate reflex action that will keep you awake in the event you find yourself nodding off while driving. Alert Drops was inspired by the knowledge and wisdom of Anson's uncle, Dr. Henry Heimlich, the man behind the Heimlich maneuver. For more information, alertdrops.com, alertdrops.com. Anson Williams is also the creator of BOGO List. BOGO List, a new service that offers consumers buy one, get one free deals from many of the top retailers. For more information or to register right now, go to bogolist.com, bogolist.com. We mentioned at the top of the program that this is the 45th anniversary of Happy Days. I can't imagine that first day when you did the pilot for Love American Style, I can't imagine that you'd be still talking about this 45 years later.
Well, actually, it's 46 years.
Wow.
If you include that, it's 40. No, I really feel old. You know, guys, who would have thought, right? Who would have thought? I'm just a number in the world. You know, I go out, leave the house at 18 years old, start standing in, non-equity lines to try to get into the theater. Who would have known that you're going to get in a show? First of all, getting a show, a pilot, then having a pilot sell, then having a pilot stay on the air. But this? Who would have ever expected this?
Yeah.
You won the lottery.
That you're in this iconic show.
Yeah.
And it's way more than just me. I mean, these brilliant people. Who would have thought? It's just so lucky to have had that opportunity. And it does make you believe in a little bit of destiny. It's like If you're feeling something inside, just like I was saying when this idea hits me for a product or whatever, same thing. If everyone has these feelings that kind of pushes them, go with it. That's destiny. That's your angel talking.
Yeah.
That's something that's undefinable, that's pushing you forward. Don't listen to other people. Move forward with it. There's a reason. That is not an accident. That is not an accident. And don't define it. Don't try to get people to talk you out of it. Move forward with it. But move forward with it and work hard.
And one of the reasons why we love talking to people such as yourself, Anson, is because you're very aware, you're very grateful of the opportunities that Happy Days gave you, but you're taking the notoriety you've achieved from Happy Days and using it to create stuff that helps people. And that's cool.
Yes. Well, in life, you've always got to be part of something bigger.
Mm-hmm.
You really do. And one of the biggest problems in our country today is greed. The big word is greed.
Yep.
And it's a cesspool of it. And I'm not talking politics. I'm talking about the whole system. And we got to stop being greedy. We really do. New laws and all this, that's not going to do it. Character's going to do it.
Yeah.
We have to change the character of the country. People have to do the right thing because they want to. They want to. If a business is making all this money and, gee, I either can put more money in the bank, which you don't need, or I could literally choose to take some of this money and help people, that's what you do. That's how you make this country work, through character. Through character. Because we've got to start turning around to the best of what we can be, not the worst we can be, and get the greed out of our system.
Yeah, you want to get the greed out of your system, but at the same time, you want to recognize that everyone looks for a bargain. So if you need a new pair of slacks or a new shirt,
yeah, man.
If you're able to get 2 pair of slacks for the same price of one, take advantage of the opportunity that BOGOList.com provides you to do that.
That's right. BOGO List takes you to all the best BOGOs around. There's always something you can use there and not have to waste money.
I would like to go back to Happy Days just for, there's something I want to ask, just hopefully you have an answer. You look back, 40, for you 46, for us 45. Was there a moment that when it was happening, it didn't seem as important or significant, but now when you look back, you're going, wow, we did that, or we accomplished. Is there a moment in the run of the 11-year run of the show where you look back and you think, when it was happening, it wasn't as important, but now when you're looking back with the gift of hindsight, that you're just blown away that the thing happened?
Well, when you're in the middle of it, we're having a great time, and we're doing it, and we're working it, but we're busy. We're not really reflecting on anything. We're just trying to do a great job, show after show. We were in it. We weren't of it. It's what we did, and we tried to do the best we can. But now it's over. It is pretty incredible what was created. This incredible team, these incredible talents. Yeah, now it's like a dream that I was part of all this. And now I am amazed. Now I do look back and I go, wow, look what we did. At the time, we knew it was a hit, but we didn't know how special it was because we were too involved. We were just way too involved day to day with it. But now, being able to look back, I'm just so proud of what everybody accomplished, and I'm so proud that it's resonated around the world for 45 years.
Before we talk to you today, Anson, we had a chance to visit your friend Marion Ross, and she was telling us about some of the softball trips that you made overseas in other countries. And I'm just thinking aloud here, but I would imagine when you guys toured with the Happy Days softball team and the reception of that, I would imagine they give you some of the idea that, wow, you're really touching people.
Oh no, we knew during the run of the show that, oh my God, there were only 3 networks, and we had like 60 million people, 58 million people watching a week, not including all the syndication during the day. So, we knew it was popular, and and stadiums would be filled and all that. We just didn't know how powerful the show was long term. Not until it's been quite a couple of decades now. Wait, for 94, actually 3 decades now, plus that we haven't been filming it, and now it's very clear. Now I can see more clearly why it hit so many hearts.
Yeah, that is the great thing that perspective does.
But it's amazing. Yeah, the famous Happy Days softball team, but also being at the moment when Robin Williams came on the scene and blew up.
Yep.
I mean, that had to have been incredible because I imagine that the Monday when you got the white pages, you go, okay, this should be interesting, and then But
well, no, actually, the story on that is when you're doing a 3-camera show on Monday, not only do you read the script you're shooting, you also read the script for the next week so they can rewrite it. Mm-hmm. So you start off by reading the script that you're shooting the week after, and this Mork from Mork was the worst script in the history of Happy Days. So bad.
Wow.
Oh, it was unshootable. It was horrible. And even Henry, who's the most calm, nice man in the world, I think threw the script against the wall. and we all went, this sucks. And Gary said, oh, no, we'll fix it. So the following week, we got it back, rewritten. Just as bad. Horrible script. But we got to shoot it, and they hired this guy for Mork. And, you read on Monday, you rehearse on Tuesday, you rehearse on Wednesday. Thursday, you camera block, and then do a run-through. And Friday, you shoot. Well, Wednesday, at the end of rehearsal, the guest star, who I don't remember, he was awful because the part was awful, quit. He quit. All of a sudden, Gary Marshall comes down. Well, we got to shoot Friday. Tomorrow's camera blocking day. Anyone know a funny Martian? And Al Molinaro goes, well, there's this young guy in my Harvey Lembeck improv class. His name was Robin Williams. And Ronnie Howland, who is Gary's sister and was in casting, said, oh, yeah, he was on the new Laugh-In for 6 episodes. Next morning, I come in. My call was a little later because I wasn't first up in the camera blocking. And when you camera block, there's never writers on the set. It's all mechanics. So I come in, and every writer is on the set, frantically writing stuff down. Jerry Paris, our director, comes running over to me. He's a genius. He's a genius. I go, what's going on, man? I walk over, and there's Robin Williams inventing Nanu, standing on his head, improving the entire script. And the writers are, like, frantically writing down everything he's doing. By Friday night, the next night, it was one of the best shows in the history of Happy Days. And the 300 people that were there, the live audience, at the end were on their feet screaming in love with this man. And the world didn't know him yet. The world, only 300 people, but we knew.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Anson, do you have any memories of Penny Marshall?
Okay. Well, yeah, Ron and I, when they first put on Laverne and Shirley, Ron and I crossed over a few times as guest stars. So we were on Laverne and Shirley. Penny's great, so funny, and just a genius of comedy. I mean, she was a reborn Lucille Ball.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Typical and funny and intelligent, like her brother, Gary. It's just a shame that her health went away,
It's one of those things you don't realize just how talented that family was. And then,
oh, wow.
In fact, I follow Carl Reiner on Twitter, and as in a little aside, Carl Reiner was paying tribute to Penny. He says, Penny Marshall, my daughter-in-law, for a short period of time. And you stop, and it's like, that's right. She was, but you don't think of her like that. And she was connected, not only, obviously, she had the talent pool from her brother, but through osmosis, she had the talent pool from the Rainers. So.
Oh, yeah. Just brilliant. Just brilliant. But, the best of her will be around. The best of her is evergreen. She'll be entertaining millions of people for many decades to come.
I'd love, with her and Cindy Williams, the physicality, but when there were crossover episodes, because I know the two shows had slightly different styles, but it's one of those examples that you see when characters cross over from one show to the other, that it meshes so nicely. Because you see it in other shows, and you could tell that one set of writers can't write for characters in another show. And whether you guys appeared on Laverne and Shirley or they appeared on Happy Days, obviously there was much more physicality happening because the girls were always physical. But especially seeing Ron Howard and Henry Winkler get into the physical bits with Laverne and Shirley, the physical timing and everything was not only hysterical, but they nailed it. When you guys would work off of each other, obviously you guys had to be much more, I don't want to say slapstick because I don't think that word does it justice, but it was so much fun to watch. But it always meshed when you guys crossed over.
Yeah, well, same family.
Yeah.
And as Gary would say, funny is funny. That's a terrible Gary Marshall.
Yeah, he's going to go, funny is fun.
That's it.
There you go.
That's good. That works.
Anson Williams is scheduled to appear at the annual Beverly Hills Theater Guild Luncheon on Sunday, March 17th at the Four Seasons Hotel in Beverly Hills. The highlight of the afternoon will be a tribute to the films and television series of Gary Marshall. Proceeds from the luncheon will help the Beverly Hills Theater Guild fund their annual national playwriting competition. For more information, call 310-765-1605 or go to BeverlyHillsTheaterGuild.com. For more information on Alert Drops, go to AlertDrops.com, AlertDrops.com. For more information on BOGO List or to register at BOGO List, go to BOGOList.com. It is always such fun to talk to you, Anson, and I hope we'll have a chance to talk again later in the year.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And guys, have a great weekend.
You too. David Frankham will join us when we come back for hour number 2 of TV Confidential. Stay with us. Hi, everyone. I hope you're enjoying our podcast. If you're listening to us on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/TV Confidential, be sure to hit the subscribe button.
If you haven't been listening to TV Confidential, this is who you're missing.
Michelle Nichols, Adrienne Barbeau,
Leonard Maltin,
Joyce Bulifant,
Peter Onorati,
Judy Norton,
Ken Berry,
Rhonda Shear, Michelle Lee, Jacqueline Smith,
Lou Antonio,
Shirley Jones,
and many, many more of your favorite celebrities and people behind the scenes in the world of television. That's TV Confidential, every week on this station and every day online at tvconfidential.net.
If you've listened to TV Confidential and like what you've heard, please consider supporting our efforts by becoming a patron of our show through Patreon. How does Patreon work? Patrons agree to make a small donation to their favorite content creators every time they release new content. In exchange, we continue to provide new content while offering you rewards in return. In a way, it's like giving a tip, plus it provides value for value. So if you liked this week's guest or learned something about your favorite show that you did not know before, please consider supporting our efforts for as little as $1 a month. If you can afford more than $1 a month, you can donate at that level as well and receive some cool rewards. For just $5 a month, for example, you can download up to 6 programs from the TV Confidential archive store absolutely free. For $10 a month, you will receive a sneak preview of our guest interview every week before anyone else hears it. For more information, go to patreon.com/TV Confidential or click the Patreon button on the homepage at tvconfidential.net.
Accredited by Guinness World Records, welcome to Archival Television Audio Incorporated, a peerless TV soundtrack archive, preserving the audio from television's first 3 decades, the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, the golden and silver age of television.
For more information, go to atvaudio.com.
Uber is the mobile app that connects you with a driver for immediate transportation. Request a ride at the tap of a button and you have a driver curbside in minutes. You can choose to be driven in a black car, SUV, or you can choose UberX, the low-cost Uber for a ride in a hybrid or mid-range car. Payment is seamless and cashless, billed to your card on file with no need to tip. Enter the promo code TV Confidential after you download the app to receive a free first ride up to $20. For more information, go to get.uber.com/go/TV Confidential.